This is Bo Nickal. He could become the UFC's middleweight champion in 2027. He's going to have the opportunity to earn the number 13 spot in the middleweight rankings this weekend against Reinier de Ridder. Bo is an elite technician, one of the best collegiate wrestlers of all time. He has imposed his will in the UFC, starting off with 4 straight victories. Bo caught a lot of backlash for his performance against Paul Craig at UFC 309. I just watched back the fight, and Nickal's performance wasn't as bad as people made it seem. He didn't put Paul Craig away early, or put it 30-24 on the scorecards, but he was able to win without getting any takedowns, and showed massive improvements in both striking and composure. Today, we'll be building a road to gold for Bo Nickal, starting with Reinier de Ridder at UFC Des Moines, and showing who he will fight and when he will fight them in order to get to the middleweight title. Before we get into the road to gold, let's start with breaking down Bo Nickal's career so far. His UFC debut was on March 4th, 2023, and his fight this weekend is on May 3rd, 2025. This means Bo Nickal's UFC career has spanned 795 days. 795 days across his 5-fight UFC career means Bo Nickal fights every 159 days, or 5.25 months. 5 months from May is October, and I don't think they're going to be putting Bo in Abu Dhabi. So let's put him in UFC 322, which will be at November at Madison Square Garden against Marvin Vettori. I'm pretty sure the UFC's plan is to make Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen in UFC 318 in Louisiana this July. There's already some history between the two, and it's a fight that just makes sense amongst a clogged middleweight division. Vettori has already talked about how active he wants to be this year, and regardless of if he wins or loses, he's not really going to be in a position to push up the rankings. With a convincing win this weekend against Reinier de Ridder, and hopefully a finish, he'll have his star power back in the right direction. The UFC will be looking to capitalize, and as someone who brings in pay-per-view views and buys from an older audience, they're going to want to put Bo back at MSG. With a chance to redeem himself in an arena that was chanting overrated at the end of his last fight, I think Bo would welcome the challenge and try to become the first guy to ever finish Marvin Vettori. If Bo gets past Marvin Vettori, he'll be right around that 10 spot. I think we have to bring the UFC to Philadelphia sooner rather than later, with Bo and Sean Brady pushing their way up the ranks. Bo made a name for himself at Penn State, and still trains in State College just a couple hours away from Philadelphia. If he's able to make it past Vettori and de Ridder, then he should earn himself a co-main or a main event spot in the city closest to his core fan base. In order to push closer to the title, he's going to need someone right around the 5th spot in the rankings. This is where we're going to get Robert Whittaker. Even though Bobby Knuckles suffered that awful jaw injury to Hamzat last year, he seems like he's in good spirits, posting on his Instagram some fighting and training videos, and said he wants to get back into the octagon as soon as he can. I'm going to guess Whittaker gets a fight booked before April 2026, but regardless whether he wins or loses that fight, he's going to need another win or two for a title shot, or he's going to have to fight down against a hungry contender. If Nickal is able to get past Whittaker, let's put him on UFC 335 back at Madison Square Garden in November of 2026. Now, some might insist that he's going to be 10-0 and he's going to be already deserving of a title shot, but we know how logjam divisions can get, and waiting around for your turn sometimes ends up screwing fighters over in the long run. So if Bo wants to stay active, we'll give him a top 3 guy in Sean Strickland. 2 American guys, Bo Nickal, the collegiate wrestler, and Sean, I do it for you guys, Strickland. I feel like this could be a really interesting matchup, and if Bo ends up winning here at UFC 335, he'll have defeated de Ridder, Vettori, Whittaker, and Strickland, be 11-0, and be 100% deserving of a title shot in the middleweight division. My best estimate is that this title shot would come at UFC 341 in May 2027, 2 years after his performance this weekend at UFC Des Moines. Who that title shot is against is anyone's guess. It could be someone even on this list right now, but I think it's going to be Hamzat Chimaev. In what would be a true battle at the highest stakes of Dagestani versus American wrestling, Nickal versus Chimaev could 100% be the main event of a pay-per-view, with 2 undefeated fighters that were once 2 of the biggest prospects in the entire sport, making their way all the way to the top and fighting to take away the other person's 0. I'm not promising that Bo Nickal is going to become a champion. There's a chance that he doesn't even get past Reinier de Ridder this weekend. But if he does, then there's a clear path for him to get to the title within the next 2 years. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments on whether Bo Nickal is going to be able to make his way to a middleweight championship, and check us out on Instagram and TikTok, where I post the Barn Burner Gazette every week to highlight the upcoming fights. Like and subscribe to check out more stuff, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.